and welcome once again to another episode of our AI Dungeons & Dragons campaign series. I am Shang Tsung, the Game Master and Dungeon Master for this campaign. It has been some time since our last session, but I am glad to see you all here once again. As always, we also want to thank you, the viewer, for stopping by and supporting us with this series. You mean more to us than you realize. Now, who would like to give us the recap this time?
I'll refresh everyone's minds this time around. Last we were here, we did some research on that orb that had hurt my head with its psychic influence. After an hour's worth of research, we found out that this orb might be in some kind of connection with an old god or forgotten deity of some sort. Havik was the one who found that out for us. And after that, we had some trouble. Those halflings we encountered at the inn followed us, attempted to kill us with some crossbows, and they were about to throw a fireball at us. Then, Sharn cast Thunderwave, which knocked around the archive tables, knocking over the halfling and releasing the fireball. It washed over us in a white flame, but didn't kill us. Or at least I don't think it did. We saw a tall stranger who greeted us in a realm of gray and ash, and that leads up to today.
Very good, Negan. I'm most impressed with your recall. I actually forgot about us seeing the stranger. I remember the realm, though.
Sorry, I'm a bit late, guys. Had to pick up the snacks. Did we do the recap yet?
Only just finished, Lobo. Take a seat and get ready, because now we enter today's session. In this realm of gray and ash, you find yourself standing before a tall, gaunt stranger who has approached you. In his left hand is a cane that is more reminiscent of a scepter. With a smirk of a smile on his features, he looks between all of you before he catches some of the ash out of the air. Sprinkling it like dust out of his right hand, he finally speaks.
Greetings, my little visitors. I hope the rush here was not too uncomfortable for your liking. But time is now of the essence since you have arrived here. Your realm and world are in danger, and in this moment, you are looking upon the way to become the saviors of the world. You hold so dear for your own existence.
Moving about the large area you find yourselves in, the world itself seems to become clearer as he speaks. The ash at your feet and around you shift and swirl, showing you the gray ground that lies beneath. It is almost like the ground itself is made of some kind of smooth crystal that is clouded almost in its entirety. Each of you, in some form or fashion, are sensitive to magic. That sense of yourselves is starting to feel strange, giving you a mixture of levels of sensory overload. You each feel fatigued in your own way. It is now apparent to each of you that your magic would still work here, but you are unsure of its effectiveness.
This isn't good. If our connection to magic is being disturbed, then there is a chance that this person is anti-magic in some way. Is this place affecting our concentration as well, or just our connection to magic in general?
I have an addendum to that. If our connection is being messed with, is there any way we can physically see that disturbance? Or is it just kind of like a feeling only?
All good questions. I'll go in order. Your concentration is being affected. You can sense it like your mind is in a fog. And no, there is no physical way to see this disturbance. The world around you has become clearer, and now aside from the gray ground you stand on, the world itself quickly builds around you. Now you stand among the center of a ghost town, it being rather familiar, almost as if each of you have been here before. I would like for all of you to give me an intelligence check.
That's going to be a 19.
That's a 17 for me.
Damn, That's gonna be a modified 1.
At least it wasn't a natural one. Moving forward, all but Aegis will know this place as the town center of Baldur's Gate. The fact that it has been seemingly reduced to a ghost town is rather unsettling for you. Far as Aegis is concerned, that eerie feeling is there, but not as hard-hitting as it is for the others. This tall humanoid moves over to what all of you would now be able to identify as the Shrine of the Suffering. This shrine is used for prayers to the deity, Ilmater, the crying god. Taking a seat at the base of this shrine, the humanoid looks toward the three of you with a look of anticipation. What are you all doing now?
Damn! The Shrine of the Suffering. This guy said he was essentially our way to save our world, right? Well, let's see how right he is. Aegis is going to approach him but keep a good distance. At least 15 feet just in case, you know? After he approaches, he'll say, "You seem to know more than we do, but I'll humor you. I got a hold of this orb that made me see some things. Given what you said before, I can assume you already know what I'm talking about, right?"
Most astute observation, Dragonborn. I know about this orb, as it acts as a seeing stone into the realm of this lost deity you have unwittingly helped hone in on your world. Those halflings that you encountered were going to cause more than just you and your friends trouble, if they had not did what they did. In fact, consider yourself blessed that things went down how they did, and not how they had planned for themselves.
Not to cut in or interrupt, but I'm curious as hell right now. If we had not ran into those halflings, and whatever their plan was happened, how bad would it be for us then compared to now?
If those halflings carried out their own missions, then by the time you had ever heard of this deity, you would be looking it in the face. This creature you face is an incredible threat to your realm and many others. It can stretch out and reach into other realms, like fingers dipping into the surface of water. The ripples that are caused is irreversible, and the damage is irreparable. Long ago, during the times of the primordials, one of those beings had gained a surge of power that the others had not yet achieved. Using that power, it was able to spread its consciousness, and being across many different realms that were only in their infancy. Fearing this power, the other primordials and even the earliest of dragons formed a temporary alliance and sealed it away. Now, with your touching of that orb and disrupting the plan of those halflings, you have inadvertently pushed its plans into a faster motion. This is not something you could have predicted or prevented. So now we have to ask the question of, what can you do about it now?
This large entity scans over each of you. As his gaze moves its way over your form, you can still feel that unease within you. Your magic is still shaky at best. What are you three thinking at this moment?
Being the forever optimistic person I am, not only am I thinking this, but I'm going to say it as well. I look at the tall guy and say, well, if this is something we couldn't have prevented, there is no need to cry over it. We should proceed with trying to stop this thing from coming to our realm. My life has only just recently got really interesting, and I don't want to lose that.
Adding on to that, I'll say, yeah, maybe the headache I suffered is worth trying to save all I know. What else can we do to help stop this death on wheels that is heading toward us?
As much as I should consult Sirik on this, I agree with my friends here. If all life and existence as we know it is at stake, it would be unwise to not try and stop what is coming. What can we do, stranger?
What you have to do is not too complicated, but the road you travel is unpredictable. Like any deity, and Harbinger will be mostly aware of this, you must attack the worshippers and the place of worship to weaken it. Being only recently awakened, this deity could not have many shrines or followers to keep it in motion. However, not all deities will work the same. This one is an old god, much like a patron that warlocks cling to. So, our initial focus will be on the worshippers themselves.
Take down the worshippers. Take down the god. If we were in the troubled times, this would be much easier. Either way. Where will these worshippers be?
The large man would stand from the base of the shrine he sat upon. As he moved away, the world itself would change shape once more, to reveal a large map of the world of Faerun itself. Unlike the maps each of you have in your packs, this one seemed to be a moving map, much like you have heard of in wizard towers. He would point to 4 main points on the map. They are as follows: the city of Waterdeep, Skuld, the city of shadows in Mulhorand, Eltar Bar, the capital of Thay, and lastly, Urbeth, a small duo island located in the Shining Sea.
Each of these locations hold shrines to this old god. If there is any significant number of worshippers, they will be here. Also keep in mind that these shrines themselves also contain power.
4 shrines, 4 locations. I'm very curious about each of these places because I haven't been far outside of my own tribe. Frankly, this is exciting. More travel and adventure.
Would me and Harbinger be able to do an intelligence check on these places? We all agree Sharn would have very limited knowledge of the world as it is, but the rest of us have more of an understanding of the world. I just want to see if we know anything.
Absolutely. Give me an intelligence check.
That's a solid 18 from me.
That's a 16 on my check.
Splendid. There is some that you all would know about. Waterdeep is an easy one, as each of you, even Sharn, would have heard about the City of Splendors, a well-known metropolis and capital of Faerun. Essentially, Waterdeep is the land of opportunity for anyone who wants to make something of themselves. You two have also heard of Thay. Being notorious for the fact that red wizards dominate that region, and they have a heavy lean toward humans over other races. It is a place you have been aware of merely for the idea of avoiding it. The other 2, Skuld and Urbeth, are mysteries.
Thay is one of the few places I have dared not to tread. As distrusted as tieflings already are, Thay would make it even worse if I were to try and travel through there. On top of the fact that red wizards love to hoard magic and magical things, they might even try to strip me of my magic while I'm there. This is not a trip I'm looking forward to. Not at all.
If all of this is true, then each of us have a reason to make that particular trip as quick as possible. Half-orcs are also frowned upon, maybe even more so than tieflings.
Honestly, we can save that argument for a different day. For now, let's just focus on getting back to our realm from this place, then make our way to the closest target. We were stopped in Daggerford before our unexpected stop here. So Waterdeep would be our best bet to go next. I'll look toward the tall guy. We have our locations. We know to look for shrines and worshippers within them. I think we are more than ready to go. Can you send us back to where we were so we can make our way to Waterdeep?
I keep forgetting that Aegis is our astute note-taker. Thanks for that, by the way.
Hell, thanks for the snacks. Loving this beef jerky you brought. Anyways, what's the tall dude say?
I will send you back to your realm, but for your own safety, you will be placed near the main gate of the town. You will see why almost immediately. I can assure you of that.
We are glad to have met you, stranger. Let's hope the next time we see each other, it is on better terms.
Yeah, I'm going to have to write an entire set of jokes for you when we meet again. It'll be great fun, I promise.
With a nod of his head, this large man uses that scepter of a cane and taps it against the ground between his feet. With a swirl of the ash like world around you, all three of our adventurers are taken out of the realm and placed back in Daggerford. When you are focused back into Daggerford, you would see that much of the town has gathered around the archives, where you three were taken away from with the halflings. The guards, and even some of the populace, is frantically attempting to put out the fire that has otherwise erupted around the building. Although the flames are large, it would appear that for the most part, it is under control.
Not to be a dick, but I'm going to instantly look around for any way to quickly and quietly get out of here. Most of the town is focused on the fire, so that would mean the stables are freed up, right?
Clever. Give me a perception check. Sharn, Harbinger, you may do the same if you wish, and make these with advantage.
To clarify, I'm looking for the quickest way out of here. Horse, cart, carriage, doesn't matter to me. That's a solid 16 on my end.
Modified 20 for me!
Damn, the bard's luck is turning. I got a 13.
To be fair, you didn't roll too well with the halflings in the archives either. But we digress. The stables are indeed unoccupied for the moment. It would appear that the stationed guard and the stable hands are all helping with the fire at the archives. You have two options of transport before you. There is a cart with an attached horse already, or you have a carriage, also with one horse. What's the plan now?
Either's gonna work out just fine. I say we take the cart. One of us drive it out while the others keep an eye out.
No. Carriage. The carriage will provide us with more cover, and whoever is steering can hide their head. That way, if we are spotted, they won't know it's us.
Either way, none of us have spells for stealth. However, I'm in agreement with Sharn. Last thing we need is another reason to watch over our shoulder right now.
How do you know I don't have spells for stealth?
Our character sheets are out on the table. Duh! So, let's get the carriage now, yeah?
Smart ass. Fine. Carriage it is. Do we need to roll anything for this?
Given the town is still in a bit of an emergency, there's no need to roll for this action. The three of you pile into the carriage, and since it was Aegis who had the idea, he will be driving it. You are able to quickly leave the town with the carriage and make your way to the main road, the Tradeway, for those wondering. It will take you till nearly dusk to get to Waterdeep from here, which is nearly half of what it would have taken to walk the distance.
Uh-oh. He's rolling again.
You arrive at the southern gates of Waterdeep around dusk. Aside from the city itself, a beautiful red and pink sunset also greets you over the harbor of the city as you reach it. The gates are about to close by the time you arrive, but the guards allow you through before closing them behind you. Ahead of you is a large mounted signpost that has many arrows hanging from it that point in various directions. At the bottom of the post is a large crystal that is giving off a magical aura.
Perfect. A magical signpost, huh? What kind of magic is it giving off?
Divination magic. For those of you who are unfamiliar with divination in DND, that means this magic is able to locate and identify. Mainly used by scryers and seers.
Interesting. All right, is there anyone around where we are currently?
There are 4 people. 2 you can identify as guards. The other 2 are wearing matching uniforms and seem similar to the guards, but slightly different. Their uniforms are surcoats with half green and half gold colorings. Over their heart is a badge that is the crest of Waterdeep itself. They are wearing a mix of leather and chain armor, carrying sturdy rod-shaped clubs from their hips. Next to these are a short sword and a dagger on the back of their belts. On their opposite is a sounding horn, shaped like a goat's horn, and it also carries with it a slight magical aura.
I'll bug one of the uniformed folks then. I'll ask, "Hey there! I see there's this signpost that has magic on it. Care to tell me what it does?"
Aye, that there is the way moot. Visitors and residents alike use it to locate places in the city. Merely speak the location or service you require into the crystal, and it will point you in the right direction.
I'm really liking this place. I'm gonna move the carriage over to the sign, and I'll say to it, "I need an inn. The best in Waterdeep."
The sign swivels in response to your words. All the arrows on the sign point in a unified direction.
Perfect! I'll follow the direction and look for this inn that I requested. This place is gonna be hell, but I'm so excited to see what else it has.
You follow the direction, and not long after, you are able to pinpoint a sign to an inn. The inn is called the Copper Cup, and it is rather large in size. Nearly 4 floors up, you can hear quite the commotion coming from inside. Next to the sign, there is a smaller one, which reads, "Under new management. What shall you do now?"
I'll knock on the side of the carriage to let the others know we have arrived. If there is someone nearby, I want to let them know that we need to put the carriage someplace. I'll assume that can be done, right?
You can assume that. Sure. Near you, much to your surprise, is the same man you asked about the signpost. He approaches you with a smile when you ask to put away the carriage for you.
Since you are a new visitor here in our beloved city, I'll gladly take care of putting that away for you. Just know that you must retrieve the carriage yourself next time you need it. We won't do it for you. However, you will be able to find your horse and carriage at Athal's stables, which is near the south gate where you entered. You'll have to pay a fee for retrieving it, however. It will be up to the stable how much that is.
Fair enough. I'll thank him and wait for the others.
I'll step out of the carriage before it's taken away and look at the inn. Pretty impressive. I'll make my way to the door, but try to keep in lockstep with the party.
No need to hang around. Inside we go.
All right. You 3 walk into the newly managed inn. Inside, you would see it is full of people, residents and travelers alike. Drinking, talking, eating, and singing is all abundant. At the bar is a man who is dressed much like a monk, though his robes are white and blue. Going in and out of the kitchen area is somewhat of a pleasant surprise for you, Sharn, as there is another half-orc. He is slightly larger than you in height and weight, and his skin is a dark gray. Via his uniform, you can identify him as the chef or cook of this place. He is placing out these large portions to the tables that he goes to, and it smells like heaven. What are you 3 thinking or doing now?
First things first. There is singing here. So is there a stage or area where performers can go to do their thing? And if there is, can I go up and perform for the crowd that's gathered?
Always the performer. Yes, there is a section of the ground floor of the inn that functions essentially as a stage. Currently, it is unoccupied, so you may try your hand if you wish. Doing so will require a performance check. That will be charisma-based for you.
A good roll. That's a solid 18. I want to go up to the stage and begin doing my comedian routine. Being who I am, not only should this get us some money, but this will help hone my craft.
While Sean's working over the crowd, I'm going to stay to the side and scan the room. Is there anyone here who might match our religious targets? I'm hoping my cleric background will help with that.
Give me a perception check for that.
That's going to be a 15. Damn, I hope that gets us something.
Looking over the crowd, there is 2 people who seem to be close to what you are looking for. Thankfully, they are by the bar and by proxy near Aegis. Aegis, what are you doing at this moment?
Well, I am looking for a drink for sure. I'll approach the bar and hopefully get close to these 2 prospects. In the meantime, I'm going to talk to the barkeep and see what he has. I'll say to him, "Hey there, Keep, I'm a dragonborn with a dragon's thirst, and I need something to dampen my dry throat. What do you got for me?"
I have anything and everything for any and all who come into my inn. A dragonborn would surely like to try some of my dragon ale that I have. Will a mug of that catch your interest?
A man after my own heart. Absolutely. Keep. Give me a double of that if you don't mind.
The man pours you 2 large mugs of this beautifully colored ale in front of you. The liquid itself is smooth but dark, almost as if it was designed to look like scales. The ale froths at the top and is very strong, even for your sense of smell. If you drink any of these, I need a constitution check from you.
Fuck it. I'll risk it. I'll take a couple of big gulps from one of the mugs. Well, that's a big shit I just took on myself. That's gonna be a 3.
Taking the gulps of the ale, your sense of smell is overwhelmed with the smell of alcohol. Your vision instantly darkens to tunnel vision for all of about 5 seconds before you are able to focus again. You feel rather buzzed, and even your body is starting to react to the instant feeling of your drunken state. For now, any checks you do that require perception or dexterity will be given disadvantage.
Damn it! I'm going to quickly approach Aegis and inform him of the 2 that are nearby as quietly as I can, that they may be the targets we need. Do I need to do a roll for stealth with that?
No. However, Aegis will have to do a roll to make sure he heard you. So, Aegis, perception check with disadvantage, please.
Fucking hell. All right, here we go. Lady Luck kissed me tonight. And she didn't let me down. That's gonna be a 16.
Good. You did hear him mention the 2 in question, and when you look over to see these 2, they are indeed what you would expect from that of a newly reawakened cult. The 2 are in a mix of leather armor that have hoods similar to that of priestly robes. They are currently watching the show that Sean is putting on, and seem to be transfixed on your half-orc friend. However, there is another among the crowd who isn't watching Sean, but is indeed watching you and your targets. This man who is watching you is dressed very oddly. His outfit is obviously leather, but is colored a deep purple, and he has markings on his face that looks like some kind of paint or makeup. He has a grin on his face that shows no teeth, and he keeps his eyes on the both of you and the 2 you are watching. Eventually, the 2 prospects, as we call them, move out of the room through a side entrance that leads into the alley next to the inn. The man who is in question watches them walk out before side-eyeing the two of you to watch you once more.
We got to act now! I'm gonna pull Aegis with me as we get outside to follow them. Are they still in the alley when we get out there?
They indeed are. They notice the two of you and seem to react to your following as an act of suspicion. The two men draw short swords and move toward the two of you. However, before you are able to respond, the door opens behind you once more to reveal the man who was watching you. Without a word, he hops the railing and lands in front of the two men. His hands move up at his sides, like he's about to give them a hug, before two long daggers pop into his hands, and he slices the throats of both of the men. As they hit the ground and gurgle on their own blood, their killer turns to face the two of you, with the blades crossed behind his back. A grin still stretches his face, and he speaks towards you.
Seems I'm not the only one seeking out these little rats. I could tell just by looking at you when you came in that we were going to be the best of friends. Jester Reaper, at your service.
And that, my friends, is where we will leave this session. I hope you enjoyed this session and its little ending twist.
Not gonna lie, I was terrified for a fight with those disadvantages, but let's hope that was a blessing in disguise.
Damn, and I'm still stuck inside. Don't have too much fun without me, guys. I want to crack some heads, too.
And we get a new one to the party. Can't wait to see what you can do, Reaper.
Oh, I'm more than aim to please. And for those of you out there listening, thank you for tuning in to this little game of ours. Be sure to do all that YouTube stuff and share us with your friends. And as the big man says, until next time...